For decades, NATO has sold itself as the world's most powerful military alliance built on one simple promise. An attack on one is an attack on all. But as the US war with Iran escalates, that promise is being put to the test. President Trump is now openly questioning whether NATO would actually fight alongside Washington after several European allies refused to join the war. So why is NATO hesitating, and what does this rift mean for the future of the alliance? Here's a report.
The war with Iran is exposing a major crack inside NATO. While the United States and Israel have launched strikes on Iran, most European allies are refusing to join the offensive. Iran has repeatedly targeted American assets across West Asia. Multiple US military bases have come under attack from Iranian drones. Trump was expecting his European partners to come join his war. Instead, NATO countries are limiting their role to defensive support, intercepting Iranian missiles, sharing intelligence and protecting bases in the region. But they are stopping short of actually joining the war, and that is infuriating President Donald Trump. Trump has publicly slammed European allies, singling out Spain and the United Kingdom, accusing them of being very uncooperative. Trump even mocked Britain's leadership, saying this is not the age of Winston Churchill.
I'm not happy with the UK either. That island that you read about, the lease, okay, he made it for whatever reason, he made a lease of the island. Somebody came and took it away from him. And it's taken 3-4 days for us to work out where we can land there. It would have been much more convenient landing there as opposed to flying many extra hours. So we are very surprised. This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with.
Spain has taken an even harder stand. Madrid has flatly refused to allow the US to use its military bases for strikes on Iran. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez summed up his position in 3 words: no to war.
We must learn from history and cannot play Russian roulette with the fate of millions of people. The powers involved in this conflict must immediately cease hostilities and commit to dialogue and diplomacy.
Germany has also made it clear it will not join a war against Iran. France too is walking a careful line, deploying warships and fighter jets to protect its interests, but refusing to endorse US and Israeli strikes that it says violate international law. Although President Macron has said that France will be increasing its nuclear warheads.
I have ordered an increase in the number of nuclear warheads in our arsenal. To put an end to any speculation, we will no longer communicate on the figures of our nuclear arsenal, contrary to what may have been the case in the past. To be free, therefore, one must be feared, and to be feared, one must be powerful.
Even Britain, America's closest ally, is holding back. London is allowing US forces to use some bases only for defensive missions, while British air defenses are intercepting Iranian drones and missiles targeting regional facilities. But Britain has stopped short of joining the offensive campaign against Tehran.
Family and friends of those who are caught in the region will be worried sick about them. And of course, we've got civilians and military personnel at risk in the region. We need to act, therefore, with clarity, with purpose, and with a cool head.
The reason is simple. Europe does not want another West Asia war. Governments across the continent fear massive domestic backlash, regional escalation, and a direct confrontation with Iran. So NATO is trying to walk a very thin line, helping defend Allied bases, protecting shipping routes, and intercepting missiles while avoiding direct participation in the war. But that balancing act is becoming harder by the day. As the war widens, European allies are finding themselves pulled into the conflict, whether they like it or not. And Trump is growing more frustrated. For years he has accused NATO of relying too heavily on American military power. Now With Iran war expanding, Trump is asking the question he has always asked. When it really matters, will NATO actually fight or will it hesitate? For now, the alliance is choosing caution, but if Iran's retaliation intensifies, NATO may soon face a moment of truth. Join the war or risk a historic break with Washington.